challenges in the process of achieving security basically. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first point says computer security is not as simple as it might first appear to the novice. Okay, see, when I say that okay, computer security could be, your system should be confidential. There should not be any confidentiality breach into your system. It is just a one line sentence, right? So it seems like, okay, this is a perfectly well defined requirement, a straightforward goal which you need to achieve. Okay. So it seems like, very much self explanatory, very much straightforward. But the problem is the mechanism that you use to meet these requirements is very complex. Okay. So the involved mechanism, the underlying mechanism is quite complex to achieve computer security. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. So what I am trying to say here is I am just re-articulating it. You know, the requirements in computer security seem to be very straightforward. Indeed, most of the requirements for security services are self-explanatory. They are just one-word labels like confidentiality, authentication, integrity, non-repudiation, right? But the mechanism that used to meet these requirements is very complex. Okay, and somehow understanding that why to or which mechanism to have in place to achieve which goal, you need to have subtle reasoning behind it. Okay, so here comes the first challenge. The mechanism, the actual implementation of that security, whatever security procedure is quite complex. Okay, the second challenge lies here in developing a particular security mechanism or algorithm. One must always consider potential attack on those security features. Okay, so in many cases, we have seen that successful attacks are designed just by looking the private problem in a completely different way. Okay, and therefore exploiting an unexpected weakness in the mechanism is happening where lies the actual challenge. Okay, so as we have discussed that maybe you put some sort of security mechanism in place, you lock all the doors or all the entries, possible entries of your house, and you think that okay, now I am well secured. But if you see the problem completely in a different manner, you are actually see that there are still some weaknesses which would be exploited. Okay, so whenever you are developing a particular security mechanism, you have to consider all the potential attacks that could be possible on those security features. And when the word comes, somehow considering all potential attacks, this is now again a very difficult problem in itself. Okay, because who will define that you will, or who will validate that you have covered everything, you have somehow protected each and every aspect of the threat which is possible. Okay, definitely there is some or the other way the attacker can think in a completely different manner and can exploit the system. Okay, so this is again a challenging thing to be there in the security domain. The third point says procedure used to provide particular service are often counterintuitive, right? So see, as we have discussed in point number 2, it is somehow related with that. The procedure used to provide a particular service. Okay, typically, so we say that okay, the security mechanism is very complex. Agreed. Okay, so it is not obvious from a particular statement, all possible requirements that are there, that are under all the underlying requirements. Okay, so basically what you need to do, you have to elaborate the measures which are needed there. Okay, you have to see the different aspects in which the threat can be considered, and then you can verify or validate that okay, this is the security mechanism, and I have put this security mechanism here because of so and so reasons. In the beginning, it should be very counterintuitive. Okay, it is not very much intuitive basically, that okay, why this security mechanism is put there. Generally people think that it is not at all required. Okay, so let me give you one example to explain this in a bit more detail. Okay, I'm very sure that while visiting some site, you may come across some sort of login credential information where it says username and password. But along with username and password, so this is quite intuitive, right? You say, okay, this particular website is asking for a username and password. This is quite obvious because uh, the website actually have this authentication mechanism in place, and for which it should need some information, and it is none other than username and password. But you might have seen in some website there are up along with this username and password, they are having maybe captcha, right? Some captcha information. Okay, sorry for misspelled. Captcha information. There is a box which says, okay, I am not a robot, kind of a thing, right? I am not robot, and you have to click this box. Okay, so along with these username and password, they are having multiple other mechanism also in place. One may think that okay, what is the need of this captcha and this thing at all? Anyways, username and password is serving the purpose. Okay, so you cannot reason about why this particular security mechanism is making sense here until unless you will see different aspect, or somehow a lot many aspects of the threat that could be possible. Okay, I hope I made it clear now. Okay, so the next point says, physical and logical placements need to be determined. Okay, now, okay, so you have decided some security mechanism, you have reasoned about that security mechanism, and somehow you validate that, okay, this is the correct mechanism which should be there. After that, another challenge is the physical and logical placement of that security mechanism. Now here, can you give me any example of physical placement of security mechanism? Yes, any example? Yes, so I want the class to be an interactive class, right? So it will actually develop interest of you, as well as, it will also develop an interest in me. I can explain you a bit more, in a depth. Can you think of this challenge? What is this challenge? What do you mean by physical and logical placements need to be determined? Anyone?
We may need to actually determine which place do we really require the security measure and not place it randomly.
Yes, any example? You are very correct actually. Any example?
Um, I am trying to think.
Maybe I can give
I
you
will
the
reply if I am
example.
able to.
Yes, I
Ma'am,
will give you the example.
CAPTCHA,
Yeah.
like CAPTCHA, if we put in login, it will be
Mhm.
useful. But if I am seeing after login, if I want to see something like my course details,
Mhm.
which is not so much necessary कि मतलब मेरे कोर्स डिटेल किसी को पता चल जाएंगे तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, तो
Right.
वहां पे कैप्चा का मतलब नहीं है.
Right. So it is something to deal with logical placement of the security mechanism, right?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
physical placement could be, the surveillance camera which are there for security measure. If you want to secure a house, you cannot buy infinitely many surveillance camera and put it at each and every location of your house. It is not practically possible, right? You have to actually think that, okay, or identify what are the locations where I have to put the cameras, okay, in order to achieve the maximum out of it, right? So in that sense, physical placement of security mechanism, where we actually talk about the physical world where we will have this in place. For example, biometric, right? So the biometric authentication should be placed at the entry level of something, right? So when you enter in the class, there you need to be authenticated. When you enter in some sort of uh, some sort of a place where authentication is required, they have to place it at the entry level. As the example given by, one of the students, that the placement of CAPTCHA, you know, we have to think that, where to place it. So this is again another challenge. You have to determine proper placement of security mechanism, because you have very good security mechanism with you. You have everything with you. But if the placement is not proper, then also it may lead to, some sort of a threat actually, right? Another example of logical placement could be, in network security, we have different security mechanism, and there are different layers. You have to think logically where, the placement of the security mechanism will be well served, okay, where the objective is well served. So all these things again will come under the challenge, which are related to security. The next point is security mechanism typically involve more than a particular algorithm or protocol, and also require that participants to be in the possession of some secret information. See, the challenge is, it's not like you will just lock each and every gate of the house and you think that now you are secure, okay? Anyways, in order to access the house, some authorized person need to have the access of key, right? So that is what written here. The participant should be in the possession of having some secret information. So the key is with somebody else who need the access of the house. Now you have to think about, many things now. The security of the house will not only depend upon the locks, the quality of locks you put there, it also depends on how that person, somehow securely carries the secret information which is possessed by him. Are you getting my point? Right? So when we talk about encryption and all, if you are possessing some shared key, okay, you should keep it secret, because if there is a leak of the secret key, then definitely there is a security breach, no matter how a powerful encryption algorithm you have there in place. Okay, so the challenge is the participants also should be in the possession of some secret information, and this raises question about how to create the security mechanism so powerful that it will be least dependent upon the participants, how to distribute that secret information, because it may be possible that during transmission there will be any leak, and protection of that secret information that is possessed by uh, you know the participant is also we have to take into consideration. Okay, so this is again a challenge in security. The next point says attacker only need to find a single weakness, right? And that is very true. We are discussing this again and again, that for an attacker to break into a system, he needs to get only one entry. Okay, but as a security designer, we have to close each and every possible openings or entries of the house. Right. So there is a lots and lots of burden on security designer. It is not there on attacker. They just have to find one vulnerability and they are done. Right. So the designer have to find and eliminate all weaknesses all weaknesses. And this is really hard problem because you cannot validate it. Okay, no one can say that okay, now this system is having all the weaknesses of this system has been taken care of, because you don't know all. What do we mean by all? Okay, we don't even know what are the what all possible weaknesses are there in the system. Okay, so there are certain limits on what a designer can do, but and therefore it is quite a challenging task to develop secure system. But yes, for an attacker it's quite easy, right? So this is again a challenge. The next point says security is still too often an afterthought to be incorporated. Okay. Again, I would like to hear from you guys. Suppose you are having a company. Okay. Let's say, I don't know, maybe you opened a restaurant. Okay. What is the first thing you would like to have, and you want to develop an application for that, right? You want to have a software which is related with your restaurant functioning, or maybe you want to develop an app which will do online, which will serve online food ordering and do the stuff like that. So what is the first thing you will do? Yes. Don't write in the chat boxes if you are doing so. Okay, you have to unmute and speak. Come on, just assume that you are
Ma'am,
opening a restaurant.
we can add a security guard, a surveillance camera.
No. I'm talking about the software security here. So you want to develop an app for your
Uh,
restaurant. Okay?
Ma'am,
Yes.
passwords,
What do you think
uh,
first?
login ID, password with captcha.
Seriously, you will think this first? Just
Ma'am,
tell
an
me the
app
truth.
for what?
Yeah. Yes.
We are supposed to develop an application for
Hmm.
like we will include the services that we're going to
Right?
provide in it.
Right. The services or the functionality of the app, right?
Yeah.
You will not think about the security at this moment, at least, right? So first of all, we will have a look at, okay, what are the functionalities that we need to do. Okay, and what we want is the app should do the all the functionality properly. Okay, this is our first expectation. Maybe our second expectation would be, the user interface of the app should be very attractive so that it can lure a lots and lots of public, right? And there are, a list of things that we will consider. Security, seriously, it will come afterwards, so this is what written here. It is an afterthought. It is considered to be something afterthought which we can incorporate into the system. Okay, first we want the system should work properly. Whatever is the desired functionality, it should be completed, and then we will, at the end, we will think, okay, now what about security? Is it, yeah, what we can do or how to invest in the security now for the app? Okay, and this is the challenge. We generally, most of us will generally consider security as an afterthought to be incorporated into the system, rather than making it the integral part of the design process. Okay, the actual thing should be the security should be the integral part of your design process. Okay, but generally, all the developers, all the system analysts, they just focus on that the software should first work properly, and then later on we will think of the security. We will incorporate it later on. Okay, and there comes the challenge. It should be the integral part of the design process. Then next
But
challenge.
ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, like as a developer, we're supposed to give to the client that what they require and need. So I think the basic, even what the client would need is that the the functionality is working properly.
Yes,
So
yes.
won't that be the first thing to consider?
That is what I'm saying now. From the client perspective also, first of all, what they are very much concerned that I want the functionality to be there. As a developer, you will say, okay, I also want the function. First, let the app work, first just make all the functions. But it should not be the case, because see, security will go hand in hand. Okay, suppose you are making a login screen. Okay, now why not just think of the security which are involved in that particular domain? Why not do it simultaneously along with search? See, we have to make security the part of the function. It should not be like that it is something else which we have to attach with our system. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Because see, during that process, when you think that okay, I will do this later, right? Now there are maybe more than 90% of chances that you will miss some or the other thing, right? Because you have developed the system in a manner which is not made for that security domain. A simple example is, in previous time, the houses were built in a way where they don't need any what you call this AC wirings, or some underlying wirings is not required actually. Okay, maybe let's suppose internet wiring. Okay, you have seen lots and lots of houses who are not having underground internet wiring or internet wiring facility in place. Why? Because at that time they thought that it is not at all required. If we need some sort of internet services, we will maybe mobile works or something like that. But now if you see, all the houses, they are having lots and lots of wiring. There is internet wirings there. Now telephone wirings definitely are probably not there, but there are inverter wirings or AC wirings, and lots of things are there. So this actually we have to take into consideration when we are developing the design. Okay, or when we are designing the system. It is not an afterward process. If it is an afterward process, then you have to compromise somewhere or the other. ठीक है, अभी इंटरनेट वायरिंग्स को अगर बाद में डालना है, so you cannot have that luxury to somehow underground it, or having it at each and every point where you require it. So this is what I mean when I say that it should be the integral part of the design process. You have to think about security alongside of designing the functionality, because with each functionality there is associated the security concern which should be taken into consideration. Am I making sense now?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one more thing. Like,
Yeah.
suppose if someone gets into our system or the application we have, like, that's like the first level breach of security. But can we protect that person from getting into the database also?
That is definitely doable. So we will come to that when we will study security mechanism, right? So there are different level of security mechanism. Okay, so I will take this point there, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Another challenge is, so yes, security is really challenging. Another challenge is security requires regular and constant monitoring. It is not a one-time job. ठीक है कि at the time of designing or maybe in the very beginning, you somehow thought of security, you implemented some or the other mechanism which are related to security, and you are done. Now your system is foolproof and it is well protected. No, it is a constant process. You have to constantly, regularly monitor and keep this mechanism updated. Okay, can anyone tell me the reason of this? Yes.
Ma'am, can you repeat last point? Your voice cracked.
All right. So what I'm saying is, security is it requires regular and constant monitoring. It is not a one-time job. So for example, see, I want to design the logo of the company. In the very beginning, I will design the logo and I am done, right? Now, during the lifetime of the organization, I actually, most probably there is no need to think about the designing of the logo again, right? Or it is hardly required. But when we talk about security, it requires regular and constant monitoring. Why? It is not a one-time process. Once you did that and you are done. No.
Ma'am,
Why?
as we told in you told in starting of lecture, there are many aspects to crack the system, and
Mhm.
uh, there are many improvements the developer need to do.
Definitely.
So
See, there are addition of various attacks. There are addition of various vulnerabilities. Suppose the version of the operating system changes. It may cause various vulnerabilities. The requirement of the system changes. It may incorporate various vulnerabilities. The number of attacks that are happening or the ways in which the attacker is attacking will change. Requirement changes. So there are lots and lots of things which are actually associated when we talk about security, right? So yes, it is quite a regular and constant monitoring process, and therefore it is difficult as well, because somehow we want something which is very short term, and because we are already in an overloaded environment, right? So that is why, yes, security is difficult or challenging, right? The next point says that there is a natural tendency on the part of user or system manager to perceive little benefit from the security investment until a security failure occur. So somehow this point is related with this. Generally, the natural tendency is, okay, अभी कोई हमारा सिस्टम थोड़ी हैक कर रहा है, right? Let's first get started. Let's get some revenue. Let's generate some revenue, and then we will invest in the security. Am I right or wrong? Or maybe right. Let's not invest in the security until unless there will be some breach. Maybe I am not the target of any attacker. Why my app? Why anybody will target my app? What will they get? So we have all these thoughts in our mind, and somehow we try to delay the placement of security mechanism. Okay, we actually want some revenue to be generated and then thinking of investing a little bit about security. Okay, and this is again another challenge, because many a times the security designer or the security analyst will be approached once the attack has already been happened. Okay. Yes, the last point is many users and even security administrator view strong security as an impediment of efficient and user-friendly operation. Okay. See, whenever you try to increase the security of the system, you have to pay some cost, right? And I am not talking about only the cost in terms of monetarily form, but also maybe the time, the efforts that the participants need to involve, right? So as you increase the security of a system, definitely lot many efforts we need to do to enter into the system. Okay, so suppose for example, in an organization there are maybe 5 checkpoints. Okay, definitely that organization is much more secure than another organization which is having only 1 checkpoint, right? But the security comes on the cost of time involved for the user, right? The user will prefer, if the user is in the hurry, he will prefer to go in the first shop, where you just have to scan through one security mechanism and then you can perform the desired function, instead of going through maybe 5 security checks and then get the function done. Are you getting my point? Yes. I think you can correlate it with the example of Gmail two-way authentication. How many of you are aware of Gmail two-way authentication? You have to speak. I can just see or I can just hear a chat
Yes, ma'am.
message. Yeah.
Two-factor authentication are now have become part of Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc.
Right. So have you used it?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain us what is it?
Ma'am, there is a key.
Mm-hmm.
That key changes with a particular uh, formula. That formula is with you. Basically, it is inherent to you and the software, and at every particular span of time, that key will be same, and the password is constant. So you are getting an extra RAM. Basically, the other number will be random
Mm-hmm.
for a person who is trying to breaking the system.
Can you give me or elaborate the example? What happens, how it is implemented in Gmail? Because it is quite easy to explain, and I'm very sure that many of you have actually came across it. How Gmail is doing two-way authentication.
And whenever we log in Gmail on a new device, first we have to enter username and password,
Mm-hmm.
and then Gmail also sends a security email that you have signed into a new device to and it us to verify if it was really you or not.
Right.
It becomes annoying sometimes.
It becomes annoying, right? So that's what I'm saying. When the system is more and more secure, it becomes lesser and lesser user friendly. Are you getting the point, right?
Yes, ma'am. We don't like captchas.
You don't like
Uh,
captchas, you don't want to click on all the traffic lights which are there in the image, you just freaked out that, "Oh, what is this? I have to do the task, and why I am supposed to do all those things."
Even
Even yes.
that, ma'am, right mark captcha that we are reCAPTCHA company we are
Hmm.
using.
Hmm. Hmm.
That right mark came with that by saying that बार-बार लोगों से कैप्चा डलवाना गलत है कैपिटल स्मॉल लेटर में.
Right, right. So that is what I'm saying, right? So, these mechanisms actually make the system more secure. There is no doubt in that, right? The more the security mechanism, maybe, more secure the system is. Okay, no doubt in that. If it is well placed, definitely. But, it will come at the cost of some efficiency. It will come to the cost of user friendliness, right? So if you enable two-way authentication in your Gmail, not only when you log in into your new device, but whenever you log in into the Gmail account, you need to carry your mobile phone also with you every time, because Gmail will send you the OTP on your mobile phone. If you are not having the mobile phone, then you are not able to log in. Okay, so although it is providing more security, definitely, no doubt, maybe somebody can hack your password, and if the person is having Gmail email ID, everybody knows, right? Most of them knows. But what if they can crack your password? They can have access of your Gmail account. But if you enable two-way authentication, they cannot do so. But yes, for us, it is a little painful process, right? So yeah, no, this is the problem with security, and therefore they are considered as challenges, because you have to consider the preferences or likings of the users or the participant. At the same time, you have to protect them from the attack as well. Okay. So yes, it is there. Any question in this, or anybody would like to add something?
Ma'am, in this last challenge, so if we can directly say that our security measures should be user friendly.
It is not possible, right? There is a trade-off. That's what I'm telling you. There is a trade-off.
So otherwise, if we are implementing security measures, we cannot actually persuade everyone to use the to allow our security measure to be in that place, because they may not perceive the importance in
And
the
that,
correct way.
and that is the reason why Gmail kept it optional. It is not mandatory. Inserting your user ID and password is a mandatory to get into your Gmail account, right? But having the two-way authentication is an optional thing. If you want more security, you can use it. If you want more user friendliness, you don't want to even put the password, you can do that as well, right? Yes or no?
So for this, I meant to ask that if we are implementing security measure,
Hmm.
then we are totally sure that we will apply some sort of security measure. So the our aim will be to see if it can be user friendly.
Yes,
But if the user does not want the security measures, then will it be a part of our challenge? Because if they don't want a security measure, then they will straight away refuse. Then it will not be our
yes,
aim to
yes.
persuade them, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So, there is a trade-off, right? There are few security measures that anyhow you have to keep in place, right? So you cannot say, okay, you just put your email ID and you will be logged into your account. You have to keep the password security mechanism there, right?
Yes.
Right. But yes, maybe CAPTCHA, you can think of that, okay, if it is really required. So if I am making a website for say banking apps or banking facilities or something related with something related with quite sensitive things we are dealing with, then definitely we have to keep these features mandatory. Okay, so if you have seen that in banking side, mostly there are, apart from login ID and password, there are one or more than one security mechanism. Okay, depending upon the severity of the system that you are dealing with. Okay, the requirement definitely changes. Okay.
So we can just say that the last challenge is we should only implement as much security as only needed and not more than that.
Right, right. But it comes under challenge because there is a trade-off, right? The security will come at the cost of user friendliness. So if you are a security designer and you will in place all possible security mechanism just to log in into the system, nobody will going to use your system. Okay, so you have to be you have to keep a proper balance of what is required, where it is required, and what is the degree of requirement, how much it is required. Okay, so all these things you have to take into consideration when you are actually proposing some security mechanism.